I'd like to thank everybody for the invitation to come out and meet you. My name is Dennis Shackelford. I probably don't need that, but that's okay. My name is Dennis Shackelford. I live in Rochester, Illinois. I went to Rochester High School, graduated in 1977, went on to Springfield College, got an associate's degree, went on to Southern Illinois University, got my bachelor's and master's degree down there. While I was going to school down there, I worked for Iron Workers Local 46 during the summers. I went on to International Telephone and Telegraph at McDonnell Douglas Corporation, interned down there with them. Worked a little while, ITT Educational Services. We owned a series of business and technical schools. Then went decided that it was time to get in business for myself, something that I've always wanted to do. So in 1984, at the age of 24 years old, I opened my first store in Charleston, Illinois, Judy's Hallmark Shops, and I've been doing that for the past 28 years. I sit on a lot of different boards and organizations. I've been to, I sit on bank boards, advisory boards for the Old Marine Bank, Bank One. I currently sit on board of directors at Williamsville State Bank and Trust, charter member, Rochester Education Foundation, board of directors of Memorial Medical Center Visiting Nurse Association of Central Illinois, Parade of Gifts Advisory Board in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Chamber of Commerce in all Christian, Macon, and Sangamon counties. I'm a former Big Brother, belonged to Elks Lodge 158, Rochester Athletic Association, coached basketball and baseball, and a number of different Republican clubs. Married to my wife, Dr. Judy Shackelford. She's the Director of Continuing Education at St. John's College. Been married for 28 years on Saturday. And everything pales in comparison to raising four of the greatest kids you've ever met. Andrew is with us tonight. He's 24, a performing musician. My daughter Amy, who is a senior at Bradley University, and I smile when I say that because she's a senior at Bradley University. And I got another daughter, Lindsay, who is at Benedictine University right now, going to Lindenwood University in St. Charles. And my baby, Emily, my soccer player, she's a junior at Rochester High School. Again, thank you very much for your invitation.
Thank you very much. Mr. Perry, you are next.
Thank you. My name's Jared Perry, and I'm a lifelong resident of Decatur, Illinois. Lived on the West End over in Heather Hills. I went to school at Warrensburg Latham High School. From there, I joined the National Guard and served in the 1544th National Guard Unit out of Paris, Illinois. Continued my education after high school at Richland Community College here in town. Got called up after transferring to University of Illinois Springfield, and I went to Operation Iraqi Freedom. We served in Baghdad, and we provided gun truck escorts for the mail route in Iraq. We ran 570,000 miles. It was the best honor of my life thus far. Met a lot of great friends we'll have for the rest of my life. And it was a really rewarding job because we hauled the morale around in Iraq. Just getting those letters to the troops and just getting a piece at home to them while they were serving their country was very rewarding. After that, I went back to University of Illinois Springfield, where I got my bachelor's degree in management. Currently, I work at ADM Trucking. I'm a dispatcher, and I do a little bit of everything. I train the new guys, I work in the operations side, and then we dispatch 28 terminals out of our Decatur location. So it's a very challenging job, but with things that are challenging, they're also very rewarding. It's been a great time running so far, getting out there, real grassroots campaign thus far, knocking on a lot of doors. The weather's been beautiful. We can't ask for anything better. And I just love my community. Decatur's a great place. I couldn't think of living anywhere else. And I always promote it to the people coming in, ADM people coming in and out, Caterpillar people coming in and out. And that younger age group, they're always like, oh, Decatur. But I love Decatur, and I plan on living here a long time, and it'd be a true honor to serve Decatur.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. Now, Ms. Shear.
Thank you, everybody, for inviting me to this. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. I appreciate you for coming. You've taken time out of your busy life to be here, and that means a lot to me. It just shows how much and how important our town is to a lot of different people. I'm running as a candidate for the 96th district for state representative. And just to tell you a little about myself, I'm the hometown girl. I've lived here my whole life. I was born at Old St. Mary's Hospital, went to St. James and St. Teresa High School. Then I got my bachelor's degree from Illinois State University and my master's degree at Eastern. My husband Brad is here with me. We've been married over 30 years, and we have been blessed with 4 wonderful children, and now I have 3 son-in-laws, so now I feel like I have 7 children instead of 4, and I love it, love every minute of it. And I'm getting ready to get a bigger family because I have 2 brand new grandchildren on the way, and I've never been a grandma before, so that's my big thrill for the summer. As far as my own personal career, I've taught over 30 years. I started out at William Harris School in Decatur as a teacher's assistant, and then tried very hard to get a job. That was in the 70s when it was very difficult to find a job, and finally landed a job at Rural Forsyth as an elementary teacher, and I've taught there ever since. So I've been there for over 30 years teaching. Brad and I have raised our 4 children right here in Decatur. Beth and her husband, my new son-in-law is Maurice, and they're here with us tonight. They live here in Decatur, and they're proof that Decatur's not such a bad place to come back to, because they used to live in Chicago and decided that they'd rather be here, so they're back here. I also have a daughter, Sarah, married to John Meek, and a daughter, Marcy, married to Mike Zora, and then my son, Tyler, is a junior at UIS in Springfield. So all 4 of my children attended Decatur Public Schools, and so I see the importance firsthand of a good public school for our district, because my own children have gone there, and I've seen, how that's affected their lives, as well as, all the other people at the school too. But little about my own self, though. My great-grandma built our house back at 1113 East Main, probably almost 100 years ago. It was kind of the family home down through the generations. I was raised there and lived there until I got married in 1980. And my family lived there a few more years after that. That's in the Jasper Park area. It's about halfway between Jasper Park and Johnsdale, for those of you familiar with the neighborhoods. One of my fondest memories is riding my bike up and down Main Street, and me and my little friends, and we'd pedal up and down that street, and we called ourselves the Main Street Manglers, and we really thought that was something. Didn't even have a meeting, but we just thought that was fun. And, climbing the trees, I know that neighborhood like the back of my hand, and just the other day, I went there and I was like, I want a sign in my house where I lived my whole life. So I went up to the door, and she was like, sure, go ahead and put a sign out. And it was with great pride that I put a sign at 1113 East Main. And then I looked up, and I saw the blue light at the top of the pole that I know is a camera for safety now on that street. And it just broke my heart. And I thought, my safe neighborhood where we played out till the street lights came on, and now, now there has to be a camera there. And I know we can't just live our life in the past, but I want it to at least start stepping in the direction toward where it used to be. As far as Kono goes, I don't have to be told much about it because I'm a part of living here in these neighborhoods. So I get it. I don't have to read about it on the internet or have other people tell me about it. I just live it my own self. My family now lives in Windsor Village, which is out by Target here in Decatur. As your state representative, mine, all of ours, in this position, what I really want to do is help get Decatur to where it rightfully deserves to be. I'm very proud of our town. I think sometimes we're our own worst enemies when we don't talk positively about it like we should. We need to count our blessings here. Along with that, though, I want to deal with jobs first and foremost. How we can keep the jobs here that we've got and how we can go out and find more. This StarTech leaving was just a big blow this week to our community. Not leaving, but having to let go of some of the workers. Those are people that live in these neighborhoods we're talking about. Safe schools are very important to me, and safer streets, of course, and they all go hand in hand together. I look forward to working with all the people in this room to better our community. I need your help, I need your support, and I need your vote. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Winston Taylor.
Good evening. My name is Winston Taylor. Is this on? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Winston Taylor, and I'm running for state representative of the 96th Legislative District. I was born and raised right here in Decatur. I spent my life on 2001 South Ferndale, Decatur, Illinois. I went to school, oh no, I'm sorry. I have a wife, 2 kids, 2.5 technically. My wife is 32 weeks pregnant. And it's been hard to campaign lately because she started having early contractions. So we spent time in the hospital trying to get those to stop. But my parents are Phil and Unita Taylor. My mother's a truck driver, so she's not here in town. She wished she could be here, but she booked a load. I attended the University of Illinois on a football scholarship. I also earned my degree in political science while I was there. After that, I went on to play football for the Miami Dolphins for about 1.5 years before injuries derailed my career. So then I came back here to the Decatur area where I got a job as a legislative liaison. First, I started out at the Capital Development Board, and then I moved over to the Environmental Protection Agency. I did that for about 5 years, but I recently had to resign because of the Federal Hatch Act. And the Federal Hatch Act states that if you are paid by federal funds, then you cannot run in a bipartisan election. Now, I need you guys to know that for me, that was a very tough choice. I was in a job, a very good job, where I worked hand in hand with the House of Representatives, and I worked hand in hand with the Senate, as well as the governor's office as far as drafting and amending legislation. We did committee calls. Everything basically functionally that a state representative does, we did it except for debating bills on the floor. It was a tough choice because I was in a position and I was making $75,000. But I sat down with my wife and we talked about it, and we saw the need. We've been a part of this community our whole lives. And actually, so you guys know, my wife and I, we went to school together. We've known each other since the 8th grade. So, we've been a part of this community. We've just seen the turn of events. And we've seen how it's been a change and how, businesses are leaving and businesses are going to the surrounding areas, and there's nothing staying here in Decatur. And we've lost that sense of pride. So we want to work to bring that back. I guess one thing that I want to address is that there's been a mailer sent out about me. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's been a mailer that was sent out that made me appear like I am a criminal and that I associate with a lot of criminals. Well, I've never been arrested. I went to one of the best universities in the state of Illinois and in the nation, for that fact. I had a good job before I resigned to run for this office, but it's still been portrayed like I'm a common thug, and that the company I keep are common thugs and ex-felons. Truth be told, I knew that the gentleman they're talking about was a felon, was an ex-felon. When I met him, actually I've known him for a while, and he grew up with my father. And he came in and he said he wanted to help. And we talked about it, and he said, you know, will you work with us to help get ex-felons jobs, because we want to be productive citizens in the community. And I said, yes. And he said, okay, then I want to help you. And that's as far as the conversation went. I didn't discuss his past or what he did, because I took him where he was, and I wanted to move forward with him from there. As a state representative, we're in the business to help everybody, every constituent, everybody that comes to us. That is our job. It does not matter if you're an ex-felon. It does not matter if you're an attorney. It does not matter what your credentials are. When you come to me for help and you come to talk to me, it is my job. It is my job to work with you. Now, what you guys see here is Chicago politics at its best. Chicago politics at its best. And it's supported by my opponent, Sue Shear. She knew that this was going out, and she was okay with that. And this was not a personal attack on me, because I stand by my decision. I stand by the gentleman that came to me, because I will never turn my back on anybody in this community. But what she showed was that she is not okay with ex-felons. And when you live in Decatur, and when you live in Springfield, that is what we deal with. That is a reality of our community. And if we don't help these people to get jobs and to move forward in their lives, then we're going to put ourselves in danger, because they're going to go back to the life they lived. So I just want to let you guys know, I want to clear that up, because you know, that personally hurt me. It personally hurt me, not because it was about me, but because it was about a gentleman that was trying to do the right thing. She made a personal attack on one of my constituents in my district, and I take personal offense to that, and that is not okay. But I'm going to leave the rest alone, and I look forward to the rest of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Before we go to Mr. Manar, Manar, I had it right? Okay, good, okay. Mr. Kamen cannot be here tonight unless he shows up late. He is in a council meeting in Springfield, so he has a bio opening statement, and I would like to read that now. It says, thank you, Coalition of Neighborhood Organizations, for hosting this candidates forum. I've never missed a candidates forum, debate, or invitation to appear jointly with my opponents on radio, TV, or before any group. The only reason I'm not here tonight is my mayor in Springfield called a special city council meeting this evening to approve our budget for the next fiscal year, starting March 1st. It wasn't my idea to wait till the last minute, but it is what it is, and you have my sincere apology for not being with you in person tonight. Fortunately, I have had the pleasure of being with Kono in person at one of your regular meetings and at your Christmas party. It was an honor to meet all of you, and I thank you for the good and important work you do for our neighborhoods, especially our older inner city neighborhoods. I am a lawyer in private practice representing clients in Macon, Sangamon, and other counties. My law practice takes me to Decatur frequently. I am also an alderman representing one of 10 wards or districts in the city of Springfield. I was first elected alderman in 2007 in a 2-round election by first defeating the Republican incumbent and then defeating the former fire chief, who was backed by the mayor at that time. Last year, I was re-elected. In that campaign, I was supported by the heads of all 5 neighborhood associations in my ward. It goes without saying that I wouldn't have been re-elected if I wasn't doing a good job for my constituents. Prior to the city council, I was elected to the county board by defeating the incumbent Republican. As a Democrat, I was outnumbered by the Republicans 21-5. Despite that, I was successful in working with my colleagues to get progressive legislation passed, such as a county whistleblower ordinance. I co-founded the Citizens Utility Board, CUB. This statewide consumer group has saved utility ratepayers millions of dollars. In CUB's first election, I was elected to represent the old Decatur-Springfield congressional district on the CUB's board of directors. In that capacity, I frequently come to Decatur conducting community meetings, appearing at Illinois Commerce Commission public hearings, and engaging in interviews with Decatur news outlets. However, I have never spent so much time in Decatur as I have in the last 6 months. Decatur has become my second home. The people of this great community have welcomed me with open arms. As many of you know, I've been all over this community, to Millikan University, Lincoln Theater, your city council, the civic center, the conference center, bowling alleys, pool halls, restaurants, many other places, and of course, my mainstay, knocking on thousands of doors. I could not be more pleased with the tremendous reception I've gotten from women and men who live, work, and raise families in Decatur, and I thank all of you. Okay, now we're going to skip Mayor McElroy and go to Mr. Menard. I'm sorry, I will get this right before the night's over. Thank you.
Good evening to everybody. My name is Andy Menard. I'm the Macoupin County Board Chairman. I've held the position for 8 years, and I'm running for state senate in the 48th district. Before I get into explaining the district, which I think is important for this Meet the Candidates night, I want to thank Kono for hosting this event. This is my first official Meet the Candidates event hosted by a nonpartisan group in the district. And I said earlier to many people in the room that these things should happen all over Illinois and certainly all over the 48th district in every town possible. Good things come of meetings like this, and I'm happy to participate, and I thank everybody for coming this evening. Everyone who's running for state rep here tonight has territory that they cover in their campaigns that's half the size of the territory that I'm covering in the state senate campaign. So both halves are equal in population, but the 48th district, just briefly, is all or parts of Decatur, most of Decatur, about a third of Springfield, all of Christian County, all of Montgomery County, most of Macoupin County, which is my home, and even part of Madison County in the Metro East portion of St. Louis. So it's a vast territory, but in reality, for downstate, for a Senate district, it's quite small, believe it or not. My car doesn't believe that, but it is quite small. First and foremost, I'm a father and a husband. My wife Trista and I, we live about 3 blocks from the house in which I grew up in Bunker Hill, which is a small town in southern Macoupin County. It has about 2,000 people that live in Bunker Hill. We have 3 children. Trista takes care of them at home. Abby is 6. She's in 1st grade. Will is 4. He's in preschool, and Ben is 2. And my joke that I usually tell about this, which is funny to some people and not to others, is when Trista and I decided to try for our 3rd baby, we thought that there wouldn't be too much difference between 2 children and 3 children, but we were very wrong in our assumption because we're outnumbered. Many years ago, I was of the opinion that things in my hometown had to change. Too many people that I grew up with were moving away because their parents were losing their jobs. Jobs were leaving Macoupin County at a clip that nobody wanted to see. And I felt like we could do better as a community to keep people in the places where they grew up. So I ran for alderman when I was 21 years old. That was 15 years ago. I served a term as alderman, and I ran against a 4-term incumbent mayor in my hometown. And I beat him, and I became mayor of my hometown at 25. And I did that for a few years, and I saw things in Macoupin County, which is a very large county geographically. I saw things happening that I didn't like, and I wanted to challenge those things, and I wanted to make county government work better for the people of the county. So I ran for county board chairman, and I was elected as the youngest member of the county board as the chairman it was 8 years ago. I have 4 terms as that. We've been through our ups and downs as a county, like most places downstate, and that has led me to run for the state senate. And the bottom line to me is our economy, not just in the 48th district and in central Illinois, but all over downstate, our economy is eroding at a clip that none of us should be happy with. And we should demand more from our state government in terms of how our state helps local governments and community groups and activists and people across central Illinois deal with the problems that we face. In Macoupin County, we lost 2 of 3 coal mines in the course of about 6 months. We lost upwards of 400 jobs in about 6 months. We lost 20% of our revenue, 20 cents on every dollar in county government we lost in 6 months. And it was a crossroads for us, and we chose, I think, the better path. We didn't take a slash and burn approach to balancing a budget. We took a very concerted effort, and we put people in a room, Democrats and Republicans and independents, county officials, all elected officials, and we made a decision that we were going to balance the county's budget within a year, and we weren't going to lay off a single employee or cut into programs that people in Macoupin County believed were important. And we did that successfully. And that was 4 years ago, and to date we have not laid off a single county employee. We did simple things. This isn't rocket science. We made county government more efficient. We put our books and our audits and our checkbook and things that people should scrutinize, in my opinion, about government. We put those things online so people could say, we don't like how the county government's spending money here. So we made things very open and transparent, and I would argue that made county government produce a better product for voters in the county. We repealed a pension plan for elected officials. We cut the size of our county board by 1/3. We cut our pay. We did all these things. Again, this isn't rocket science. This is common sense approach to balancing a budget. And those are the types of things that I want to take to Springfield. And one other thing that I want to note when it comes to job creation, our approach in Macoupin County is to put the private sector and the public sector in a room and try to come up with innovative ways to create jobs. We created a public-private partnership that is very successful, that is growing by leaps and bounds. I'm very proud to have been a part of it. When we had to reduce our budget, we went through the county budget line by line. We made reductions where we could. We doubled our investment in economic development, and that has produced real results for the people of the county. I look forward to the discussion again. Thank you for having me here this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I will now read Mayor McElroy's bio. Mike McElroy is a lifelong resident of Central Illinois and an experienced leader in both private business and public service. Born in Decatur, Mike was raised in a large family of modest means in the city's West End. He graduated from St. Teresa High School in 1970 and attended Danville Area Community College. He and his wife, Lynn, have been married for 31 years and have 1 son. Lynn, a school teacher for 34 years, presently teaches 2nd grade at Rush College Elementary School in Decatur. The McElroys are parishioners of Holy Family Catholic Church. Mike has been serving as mayor of Decatur since 2009. Prior to his election, Mike served on the Decatur City Council for 6 years. He is also the vice president of sales for the Skip Distributing Company, where he has been employed since 1989. Mike was a small business owner and a general manager of Tuna's and Big Lloyd's from 1975 through 1978. He was also a member of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters for 12 years and the Laborers Union for 2 years. Additionally, Mike is chairman of the Friends of St. Mary's Hospital and has served on the St. Teresa Development Board, the YMCA Board of Directors, the Decatur and Danville Convention and Tourism Boards, and the Associated Beer Distributors of Illinois Board. The new 48th District is comprised of all or parts of Christian, Macon, Macoupin, Madison, Montgomery, and Sangamon counties. And that is his bio.